English surnames are incredibly colourful and surprising. With roughly 40,000 different surnames in England, learning them all would be impossible. But with the help of this video, you'll be able to identify the origins of English surnames by learning a few simple patterns. Surnames weren't common in England until the Norman invasion. William the Conqueror wanted to know who his subjects were and, more importantly, what they owned so that he could tax them accordingly. They needed to differentiate between all the Anglo-Saxons who had the same first names. So descriptions were added and surnames were born. The first category is called patronymic, names taken from the father's first name. So John's son becomes Johnson, Peter's son becomes Peterson. There are a few occasions where the mother's personal name is used, for example Madison, the son of Maud. Perhaps calling them filial names would be more accurate, but patronymic is the accepted term and an overwhelming majority of them are taken from the father's name. Patronymic names make up about 15% of the names found in England. They don't all end in son. They often end in S. For example, Williams means the son of William. The S in Old English and Middle English is possessive, just like it is today. But be careful, not all surnames ending in S are patronymic. Some patronymic names end in T or OT, such as Elliott, which means little Elias. Sometimes personal names become surnames, such as Thomas. Next, we have occupational, so something like Smith, Thatcher, or Hornblower, which relates to a person's job. They make up roughly 25% of our names, with Smith being the most common name in the English-speaking world. Clearly, every village needed one, and many of the German and Dutch immigrants in the States were called Schmidt or Smit, which were easily anglicised into Smith. A lot of occupational names are easy to figure out. Others, such as Arblaster, which means a crossbow maker, or Clippard, which means someone who used to cut cloth, are hard to guess. But we know they aren't patronymic since they don't have any of the telltale signs. Then we have descriptive names such as Gray or Armstrong. Gray relates to a person's hair colour or complexion, and Armstrong is pretty self-explanatory. Colours are common in descriptive surnames. Body parts are also common. Sheepshanks, meaning someone with furry legs like a sheep. Descriptive names often describe someone's temperament as well, like Goodfellow. These names are the least common, probably because they were the least accurate way to label someone since they're all subjective and likely to change. An Armstrong might not always be strong, and a brown might become a grey. And this is an interesting point about English surnames up until the 15th century. It was common for a person to have several surnames over the course of their life, depending on their circumstances. An Armstrong might get a job as a smith and would change his name accordingly. During the Middle Ages, parish churches began recording baptisms and marriages, and names then started becoming hereditary in order to make the record intelligible. Otherwise, it was a complete administrative nightmare to keep track of who was who from cradle to grave. The fourth type of surname is locational or toponymic. Toponymic means a feature in the landscape, so something like a church, hill, or green. And locational would be the name of a settlement like York or the name of a river like Trent. Those names were given to people who lived by those places. Many of these names end in tun, ham, or ford, which are old Anglo-Saxon names for settlement, farm, and river crossing. If you want to know more about English place names, then I have another video on it here, but knowing those three will get you pretty far. And anything ending in "lee" means clearing or meadow, so the name Wheatley means from the meadow of wheat. Locational surnames give us some of the best surnames in English, such as Higginbottom or Crackpot. Any surname with bottom in means a valley or a dell. Let's try a quick case study. These are the top 5 English names. Smith, occupational. Easy, we've done that one. Taylor, again, occupational. Wilson, patronymic, son of William. Brown, that's an easy one, that's descriptive. Wright. Now, this is where it gets tricky. I can see it's not patronymic, no son or S, and there aren't any towns in the UK called Wright, so I know it isn't locational. It's not a colour or a body part, and it doesn't describe someone's temperament, so it's not descriptive. So I'd deduce from that it was occupational, and Wright does in fact mean a craftsman or carpenter. See if you can do it with your own surname and let me know what category yours falls into.